How do we learn how to behave in new situations? When we're presented with something that we've never seen before, how do we know how to respond to it? For example, if a child sees a new animal for the first time, how do they know whether to go and pet it or to run away?
That's a good
Well,
question.
the expression monkey see, monkey do might be more than just a fun saying.
Is that right?
In this episode of Psych Papers, we cover the Albert Bandura's Bobo Doll experiment of aggression, conducted in 1961, where he tested how much children imitate adults in the context of aggressive behaviors. In the second half of the episode, we'll discuss our own research we conducted on how much physical resemblance matters when it comes to positive role modeling of our favorite fictional characters. Hi, I'm your host, Chris. I have a PhD in psychology. This is my co-host, Joseph Tajaran, and
Hi.
we are bad content. Okay, so what was the actual study? 72 children, ages 3 to 6 years old, from Stanford Nursery School.
I
I know.
What year was this? What year
It
is
was
this?
1961.
Jeez.
So anything that starts off 72 children.
This is already going to be a bad time for me.
72 children ages 3 to 6 years old from Stanford Nursery School. Half boys, half girls. They were split into 3 groups.
Okay.
2 out of those 3 groups watched a video of an adult stranger interacting with a Bobo doll. It looked pretty silly. It's a clown and a blow-up doll. It's like 3 feet tall.
Is it related to the anime Bobo 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 Bobo?
No, I think it's Bobo the clown. Like,
Oh, okay.
I think that was the clown's name. Children were split into 3 groups. 2 of the groups saw a video of an adult stranger interacting with a Bobo doll. So group 1, we'll call them the aggressive group. They saw a video of an adult punching the Bobo doll repeatedly in the nose, hitting it with a mallet, and throwing it up in the air to kick it across the room. Yeah. Okay.
It's like my therapy session.
Yeah, it's getting some anger out. All the while, the adult was verbally saying, "Sock him in the nose. Pow, pow. Oh, he keeps coming back for more." And then finally, "He sure is a tough fella," while they're beating up the doll.
Wait, so he's pretending he's in a fight with this Bobo doll? Is that the whole
Yep.
shtick?
They're beating up this Bobo doll.
What day? There's more than one person beating up this
Oh,
doll?
sorry. No, it's one adult in the video.
Okay. The singular day.
So it's a video of an adult in a room, and there was a bunch of toys in the room, but they're specifically beating up this like Bobo doll, which is a 3-foot kind of inflated clown.
Describing one man beat up a doll is already funny enough, but just to imagine several people beating up
group.
this doll, saying those phrases, put him up, he's putting up a fight, isn't he? It's
Pow,
obviously,
pow.
it's obviously getting a beat down, this
Yeah.
poor Bobo doll.
All right. So
Okay.
that was the aggressive group.
Uh-huh.
There was if you were a child in the non-aggressive group, the second group, you saw a video of an adult ignoring the Bobo doll, and they would play with the other toys in the room. And then there was the third group, which was the control group. And these children did not watch any video. They had no exposure to any adult playing with these toys.
Okay, hold on. For the ignoring one, is it like very like acted, or ignoring like, no, I don't see any Bobo doll. I know Bobo dolls that I know or care about.
Bobo? Who's that? Don't know the guy.
Bobo? No.
Yeah. God damn it.
That's saying the guy you left. Got him. That's how things can say in the episode when I see you visually laugh. Got him.
Okay, so the children watched a video of an adult either beating up the doll, ignoring the doll, or they didn't see any video at all. Okay, now, before they were given an opportunity to play with the doll, the experimenters did one little extra step that's never really talked about in the videos I've seen. And when I learned about it, no one ever mentions this part. I found this in the original paper.
Uh-huh.
The experimenters, and I'm not sure if this is like methodologically sound. Anyways, the experimenters wanted to induce a mild level of aggression in the children to
Okay.
ensure that the children were at least somewhat provoked to be aggressive. So,
All
how do
right.
you get children mildly aggressive?
You deprive them of something?
Wow. Joseph. Experimenters brought children to another room with a bunch of really cool toys. So there was like a fire engine, a train, a toy airplane, a car, a doll set, doll carriage, baby crib. It was a bunch of like really cool toys. And the
Right.
children were told to play with the toys. But about 2 minutes in, right when the children started to get like really into the toys,
Oh
the experimenter
no.
the experimenter would come in and say, "Actually, these are my very best toys, and I don't let just anyone play with them. I've decided these toys are reserved for the other children. However, you can
Oh
still play with any of the
no.
other toys in this other room."
Uh-huh.
And then that's when the children were brought into the experimental room with the Bobo doll, where they had 20 minutes to play with whatever they want.
Oh.
Damn, that's cold to do to a
That's cold.
kid.
No, that's ice cold.
They like, and it's so funny because it wasn't a set 2 minutes. It was in the paper, they said, whenever the experimenter saw the child start to get really into the toys, that's when they were like, actually, these are reserved for other
These are
children.
not. these are researchers are like, this today's gonna be super fun, guys. I got a good plan for I got something really cool planned out for today. You gotta
Yeah.
check this out.
So then, after the experimenters induced a mild level of aggression in the children, that's when the children were brought into the room with the Bobo doll, where they had 20 minutes to play with whatever they want. Okay, so what did they find? You could probably guess. Children that watched an adult beating the Bobo doll imitated a lot of those aggressive behaviors.
Oh no.
Children both physically and verbally abused the Bobo doll.
Verbally abused the Bobo doll?
Yeah. So you remember
Poor
how the
Bobo
adults would say,
doll.
"Ha, you think you're a tough guy, huh? Pow, pow, sock him in the nose. Yeah, right there."
They were
Yeah,
saying the same
they
thing?
imitated that. They imitated them. Yep. So children imitated adults in all conditions, even in the non-aggressive conditions. Children just imitate
Huh.
adults, period.
Wait, so what happens when the kids that didn't see the Bobo doll at all?
So in the non-aggressive conditions,
Mm-hmm.
uh, there were still some like verbal things that the adults were told to say, like by script. I'm not sure what they were. They might have been like, "Ooh, like I like playing with this toy because it has, like wings." So kids might like imitate that as well, being
Then
like,
map
"Oh, cool,
map
this
back
toy
to
has
that.
wings."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So children just imitated adults, in both those conditions. And they did find some gender differences. So boys were more likely to imitate physical aggression than girls,
Mm-hmm.
and boys were more likely to imitate aggression from a male adult model compared to a female adult model.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay, so what do these results mean? Up until that point in 1961, a lot of research was focused on like reward and punishment to encourage new behaviors. This research opens up a new avenue for learning new behaviors via imitation.
Mm.
And the obvious implication of this research is in the parent child relationship. A
Mm-hmm.
child will often imitate a parent's behaviors, whether good or bad.
Whether the parents intending for them to be copied or not, right?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah.
Children are always watching and they see a lot more than I feel like most parents probably realize. And they will
Mm-hmm.
copy the behaviors. Yeah. A less obvious implication is in role models in general, such as people imitating behaviors of a superhero, a TV show character, or any movie character. And the study kind of showed that children were more likely to imitate somebody of the same sex as them, which kind of makes a
Mm.
case for having more representation in media. Having more
Mm.
positive role models in media that look like you may be very important in the behaviors that you mimic.
What are your thoughts on on sort of that part where they riled up the kids, where they sort of primed them before the kids entered the room? Because that sounds
Yeah,
that's a little shaky, isn't it?
that part was interesting. So I think the part that makes it okay is as long as they did that to all the children in
Mm.
all three conditions. Because what you're looking for are differences between the conditions, between
Mm-hmm.
the group that saw the aggressive adult, the group that saw the non-aggressive adult, and then the control condition. So if as long as they're doing that to everybody, then it's fine. Because if it did have an effect, if it made children slightly more provoked, then you would see that across conditions. Um, I just found it kind of funny that like
That
I
was
don't I,
omitted.
f- I don't think you needed to do that to get children to be aggressive to the Bobo doll to imitate
Yeah.
the parent the
Looks
adults.
looks like someone didn't have confidence in their study, huh? Would you say?
It's just like kind of mean almost. I feel like the first experimenter like did that. I feel like the first experimenter like did that by accident, and they were like,
Uh-huh.
"Oh shit!" And then they were like,
Yo-
"That's actually part of the study. We're improvising here." Like,
Yeah, but what people don't know in research, it's just like just like
you come up
improv.
with it on the
Yeah,
fly.
yeah, you're just yes anding the other researchers.
Anything that goes wrong, oh, that's well done. That's part of the study. You're a smart cookie.
We invested too much money. We can't back down now.
Yeah.
I just think the idea of someone had thought of it like, hey, what'd be a good idea is when the kids are having fun, we take them away. That's
take it away.
like that's some
And just
Disney
wait until
villain
the
shit.
children get really into it, until they're having a lot of fun, and then tell them, "Oh, oh, these toys are reserved. Sorry, take a number."
The phrasing of it is not even just like it's like
Yeah.
no. The rationale you have to give children is like I changed my mind.
Yeah,
and
it's
kids
funny.
just sort of
Like,
have to accept that.
yeah, it's funny when like adults write for children in movies and TV shows. You can always tell when like an adult is writing for like a kid, because I'm like, kids
Yeah.
don't talk like that. And like in a similar thing, like you don't have to come up with this like, oh, these are my very best toys that are reserved for other children. I've decided that we should go in here. Like
Yeah.
you could just say, hey, we're done here. We're going into this room now.
You have status. You're an adult. Like and
Yeah.
kids recognize that.
Yeah.
Like I'm just four. What can I do to you? You're like a larger person with authority.
Yeah, I'll beat the shit out of you, dude. I'm 40, all right?
Dude, you're like 1/4 of my size. I can fucking just throw you down the stairs whenever I want to.
You see Bobo? You want to be Bobo? Watch out, kid. That was me. That was me in the video. That was me in the video. You still watched me do that to Bobo.
Huh? Oh, you have a problem? Oh, I guess you're the Bobo now, aren't you? Huh?
Oh, Bobo's got a big problem, huh? Bobo wants to play with these toys, huh? What do we say to Bobo? Bobo, we say no, 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 Bobo.
That's so not funny. Bobo, no, no.
Bobo, no, no.
That's so stupid. Only we're laughing.
All right, this is the part of the episode where we talk about the follow-up research we conducted, and this episode was on imitation and representation. So this episode was about children imitating the behaviors of other adults. But imitation isn't limited to just children. Adults will also model themselves after positive role models that they've identified whether in real life or in media like TV shows or movies. So I wanted to explore what is the impact of physical resemblance on positive role modeling for fictional characters.
Interesting.
So if there's a fictional character that you really look up to, that you love, how much does it matter whether or not they physically look like you? To study the question of what is the impact of physical resemblance on positive role modeling for fictional characters, I asked people these questions. So first, I asked them to identify their favorite fictitious character, especially if they consider them a positive role model. And then I asked them, how much do you look up to this character as a positive role model? And then I asked them to rate, how much do you physically look like this character? Now, first, we can go over who's people's favorite fictional characters were. Joseph, who's your favorite fictional character?
Oh shit.
On the fly. On the fly. This is
Fuck. No, not Rick and Morty. Fuck. Not Rick Sanchez. No, that's the one I'm watching more
It's okay
recently.
if it is. It's okay if it is.
The hot guy from Mulan. Let's get down to business.
Okay.
To
To
defeat
defeat.
the Han.
Cool. Mine is Tony Soprano.
Yeah, I raised you, Mulan. Fucking with a fucking prestige.
I mean, I guess
TV show.
Disney movies are cool, I guess. Mine's Tony Soprano, head of the Italian, mob.
He's not a bad guy. He's just misunderstood. He's a
an
complex
anti-hero.
character.
No,
he's a complex character.
He's a bad
Uh-huh.
guy you want to win, and that's what is so engrossing about him. He could do terrible things, and I'm like, well, that's just Tony. He's just trying to keep his family safe. Hey,
He's just trying to
Ho!
survive out here in the world. Hey, oh.
So, who are other people's favorite fictional characters? There were a lot of superheroes. So, a lot of people put Batman, Captain America, Iron Man, the Joker, Spider-Man, Superman, and Thanos.
Thanos.
Yeah, that was an interesting one. And the Joker. I'm like, ooh.
Is it Thanos
ooh, okay.
the snap guy?
Yeah, he is from Avengers. Yeah. No, he's a bad dude. He tried to kill half the universe.
But he just showed up in someone's favorite positive role models. Okay, I don't want this too much to unpack. It's too much to unpack.
And then they're like, yeah, my favorite fictional character is Thanos. And then the next question is, how much do you look like him? How much do I look like Thanos?
I don't know. I've been working out a lot recently. So
Well,
I'm
that's-
getting there.
Other characters that people looked up to, I grouped the superheroes together, but Atticus Finch, Dr. Avrana Kern, Elizabeth Bennet, Gandalf, Harry Potter was a huge one. A lot of people put Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Hermione Granger, Indiana Jones, Captain Jack Aubrey, James Bond. A lot of people put Sherlock Holmes and Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh.
So then people had to ask, how much do I look like Winnie the Pooh?
Wait, and the way that you presented these questions, were they like one question at a time? So
yeah, they asked
didn't know.
one question at a time with it on a different page. So they put Winnie the Pooh. They clicked through it and they said, "How much do you look up to this person, Winnie the Pooh?" Okay, yeah, I look up to Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
All right, how much do you look like him? And I'm sure. I wish I went to that person's response. I bet they put like, well, not
Exactly,
different, like just
obviously.
probably a little bit. Yeah. All right.
Like I could see people rating themselves based on the character's energy. Like, oh, I like aesthetically feel like I look similar to them.
I put physical resemblance, but that is a good point that that we'll talk about. So, turns out people look up to fictional characters that look like them. The more physical resemblance that somebody has, the more that they look up to them as a positive role model. This was a positive correlation. It was significant with an R of 0.23, R squared of 0.05. This was significant. N of 319. We surveyed 319 people for this. I forgot to mention that. So the more you look like someone, the more you look up to them as a positive role model. I think this isn't too surprising because it's not the strongest effect. It's a small but significant effect size.
Yeah.
And this effect was present for both males and females.
Okay.
So in the survey, I asked people to indicate their gender, and the effect it didn't differ between the two.
So even if like maybe there was a different was there a lot of like people that identified or picked the gender of a character?
Oh, that would have been interesting. I didn't code for the gender of the fictional character.
Man, that would have been such a bitch. That would have spent so much time doing that.
Yeah. And I'm not sure, is Winnie the Pooh a dude or a chick? I don't know.
I think Winnie the Pooh's a dude.
Are you sure?
He's not wearing pants. Yeah.
So that would be bad for both men and women. I don't know. I don't know what the rationale there was.
I don't
Either
either.
his dick or
I said
coochie's
it.
hanging out. What?
Yeah, I know. As I said, I was like, that shouldn't matter, Joseph. It's not,
If he
that
wasn't
shouldn't
wearing a
matter.
shirt, that would make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. I'm dumb. Clearly, I'm very
Yeah.
stupid. So yeah.
People look up to fictional characters that look like them. So what does this mean?
What does it mean?
So there are causal explanations. And again, this is just a correlation. This is just a correlation. We don't know. We don't know the reasons why we're getting this correlation.
We'd have to do
We
more
only
studies,
have-
right? Yeah.
We would have to do more studies. But there are potential implications that we can draw from this. Okay. The causal explanation is the first one, that greater physical resemblance causes people to more greatly look up to fictional characters. And so maybe greater physical resemblance, maybe that enhances a sense of identification and emotional connection to the character. And it may provide a sense of validation and empowerment. A greater resemblance may make fictional characters feel more relevant and relatable. The other causal explanation is just the opposite. Maybe looking up to fictional characters causes people to overestimate physical resemblance. So if you look up to a fictional character, that may lead people to like project themselves onto the character, including physical attributes. Maybe people are selectively paying attention to shared attributes while overlooking differences.
And let's be real here. Most fictional characters are pretty hot. Just gonna put it out there. They're really
Winnie
hot,
the Pooh's
attractive
bangable. Yeah. 10 out of 10 would bang Winnie the Pooh. Don't know if he's a dude or a chick. Don't care.
Doesn't matter. Very open-minded.
He's already got the pants off. He's ready.
He's peacocking, if anything.
Hey, nice.
I don't know if this is gonna stay in the episode. This is what I've actually myself cut myself. Winnie the Pooh, ready to fuck now. DTF Winnie the Pooh. Can't. Nobody feels too sacred. I can't.
Too sacred. Bro, call me Christopher Robin, homie.
Yo, my parents didn't name me Chris for nothing, dude.
Winnie the Pooh, get on this dick.
All right. I can't, Chris. I can't. I lose my mind. The combination of those words.
There's another explanation.
Uh-huh.
And with any causal analysis or correlational study,
Sorry, you need to give me a second.
as with any correlational study, in trying to develop a causal analysis, there's also the third variable explanation. Perhaps there's a self-selection bias in that people might actively seek out characters that look like them. So people may be more likely to engage with media featuring characters who share their physical attributes.
I can definitely attest to that point, just personally, especially with all of, like, the Asian Morelli. I fucking like shouted out the guy character from Mulan. I'm not even like full Chinese, but I was like, yeah, tangentially related, good enough for me.
He's Asian enough. I'm Asian enough. Yeah. All right. So this brings me to what's known as the Scully Effect. The Scully Effect became a thing in 1993, at a time when many female characters were kind of the sexy objects of desire that would wear skimpy clothing, and there wasn't that big of a cultural interest in STEM fields. The type of cultural interest in STEM that does exist in many of today's TV shows didn't exist in 1993. So the writers took a big risk when they casted Gillian Anderson to play Dana Scully in The X-Files, a medical doctor with a physics undergrad degree, extremely intelligent, rational, and courageous special agent in the FBI. Her career was her priority. She was known for her objectivity and skepticism, and she was usually the most competent one in the room. Now, keep in mind, this was pretty unheard of for a TV show back in 1993. And she kind of became a, pop culture patron saint of women trying to forge a career in STEM fields. And what this did was the popularity of the X-Files and Dana Scully in the show, it created a significant uptick in women pursuing STEM careers. Gillian Anderson even said that they would receive letters all the time from women who were going into the medical or science world because of Dana Scully.
Oh, wow.
And Yeah. Since then, there have been multiple studies on the influence that Dana Scully has had on women in STEM fields. And the results are pretty clear that the Scully effect was like a very real thing for a lot of women.
Right. So if you see someone that you want to aspire to, there's a higher chance of you wanting to become like them.
For sure. And it opens up that realm of possibility for you. Oh, I didn't think women, were like doctors or surgeons or or law enforcement, things in typically male dominated fields. So when you see that role model, it's like, oh, like if she could do it, so can I, All right. If you enjoyed the video, if you could boop the like button or subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. Otherwise, thank you. Bye.